Very cool.
Heck yeah, bro. All right, well, let's get this started. Welcome, everybody, back to another episode of the Dad Labs podcast. It's your boy Dodger Tommy in the house. Padre Tommy will be here shortly. He's actually watching right now online, but he'll be here, and then we'll have some fun. But it's another episode of the Dads of TikTok, right? And we have our boy Dad Formula in the house, man. So we're just gonna go by Dad Formula because I know we've introduced ourselves over the phone. You want to stick by Dad Formula, right?
Totally fine. Totally
Okay.
fine. I'm not afraid to share my name is Sean, but yeah, most people call me Dad Formula, and we work in the dad world, so I've been coined Dad by a lot of people, and it's like, well, there's a lot of dads, so that's kind of generalized. So yeah, call me Dad Formula, Sean, whatever you want. I'm good.
All right, cool, bro. Go. Well, we appreciate you coming in to episode 4, man. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We're gonna learn more about you. We see what you do on TikTok, and I love it personally, and I think a lot of your followers do too, because they keep coming back. Your room's always pumping and bumping, bro, with people eager to, maybe they need to stay home from work and maybe earn a little cash on here, and so it's a good thing that what you're doing, bro. I really appreciate it, and we'll tie into that a little bit more. But first of all, let's go and let's tell us a little bit about yourself, man. Where are you from? Where you grew up, and then tell us what you do for work.
So I'll condense the story. I've always lived in sort of Pacific Northwest. Born in the Boise, Idaho area. Moved down to the northern Nevada area for a long period of time, but my family kind of lives up in the Southwest Idaho area. And so had a strong tie to that. Went through school, did a lot of sports, realized I was pretty athletic. And so moved into personal training as a career, pretty well, early after high school. Went to college, got the degree thing, didn't match what I wanted to do. So I just stepped into, actual skills. And so did that for almost a decade, showing people how to get in shape and work in gyms. And it always came back to a mindset structure versus a knowledge base. Once you know how to do the things, it doesn't take very long to get that knowledge, but the mental state to repeat those processes to make it happen is the real struggle. And so being able to coach people on thought process structure and implementation factors more than what should I be really trying to eat every day, like that's not that tough, right?
Yeah.
So grinding on that. And so that sort of led me into the world of supplements and affiliate and multi-level marketing. And I got into the sales world, and I started leading, demonstrations and doing public speaking up in front of large audiences and doing one-on-one coaching and business structure and all kinds of stuff. So the last 10 years I've been working for online companies. I primarily work from home and get to have a fantastic world doing this stuff. But, for about a decade worked for a software company in the tech support department, managing, 100,000 users of a platform and helping them solve the problems. So now I work in the world of business more freelance and showing people how business and marketing structure works in various ways, and TikTok has become a huge way that people can express their own value and their own opinions and skill sets and education out to a niche audience and create a monetization around something that just drives them as a person. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at now. And on the way, I became a dad and got some kids involved too. So
we're just doing this little thing called marketing, and we're having all fun going to school, and then let's dabble some children in there, huh? That's always the fun thing to do. They say do it. That's the life, right? You got to have some kids, and then the kids come, and you're just like, oh, I love you, but I need a break.
Yeah, we're gonna do our own world too. We're still people that need to fulfill ourselves. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, so now tell us about your dadhood. You said you had sprinkled some kids into your life here. Now, give us a little resume on what you got going on for your dadhood, brother.
So I've got 3 kids. I've got currently 15, 20 and 21. So on the sort of back end of the dadhood hill, and looking forward to empty nesting. I mean, no, it's not even so much that, it's a different version of life, right? And you know this as having kids, where you have to change the version of you to sacrifice and make sure they got what they need to become the version of them that you can then release into the world. And so that release into the world is number one, huge celebration, like fantastic. We celebrate the win as a parent. But number two, it's like you get to come back to a version that you left for like a long time ago, and have self-focus and that kind of stuff, which gets lost in the parenthood game a little bit, right? And so yeah. But I have great kids. They're fantastic. Very, very smart. My son's going to college, and the other one's learning how to drive, and just,
All
you know,
boys, or you got a girl?
I have 2 girls and 1 boy. Yep.
Oh, you got 2 girls. Are the girls the oldest?
No, my son is the oldest. Yep. So he's my partner. He's a good dude.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah. And I got 2 boys, and I have a daughter who is 26 years old, and I have a grandbaby, man. And you're gonna be looking at grandkids soon here, bro. You better be careful.
I don't know. We'll see. My son's not too excited about having kids, but my daughter, we're just gonna see, slow the rolls.
Yeah.
They operate different. So
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Dude. So tell me, when you found out that you were gonna become a dad, bro, like, let's relive that moment, because we seem to believe everyone has the same moment that we had when we found out, but it's always just a little different. You know what I mean? So tell me what happened, man, when you found out.
my wife is over here laughing her ass off right now, dude. Like, so, all right. So I'm going to give you a real story.
Let's go. That's what I'm looking for.
Okay. Like, I know this is recorded. I'm given full permission. If you guys are here live, this is a version that probably no one on TikTok knows about me.
Oh, we're exclusive. That's the way Dad Labs does it, baby. Let's go.
Okay, so I'm gonna skip part of this and try to round it off so I don't like run over some of the future questions, right? But
Yeah.
I met my wife when we were 12. So I've known her virtually my whole
Hold on,
life.
wait. You said 12?
I was 12 years old when I met my
That's
wife.
amazing.
So her brother is my age. She's 2 years
Okay.
older than me. He was in my graduating class. We played soccer together in a little youth soccer league.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so we met very young. We lived in a tiny town of about 25,000 people. Okay. And so we knew each other for a long, long time. And so as we got older and we got to the age where we were legally allowed to go into bars,
Right.
we were learning how that worked. Okay. And we figured out how it worked really well. Okay. And so we left the bar with not a lot of experience about how much this works.
Yeah.
And so ended up becoming pregnant the very first time.
Hey, man, talk about being perfect.
So here's the thing, though, is we were both in sort of other situational relationships. And because the bar worked so well, there wasn't a clear memory of that night. And so it did not come out until about 2 years later that my son was mine.
Wow.
And
Now,
so
but you knew or you didn't know either?
I didn't know.
Okay.
She didn't know. We were
Okay.
both in other relationships at the time. And
It's
so
like this seems like a movie, bro. Where's Seth
No,
Rogen at?
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. So anyway, long story short, her and I had already been sort of flirting again after those relationships had dissolved in that course of time. And we were at her house and we were having a little party. And before the party even started, nothing had even happened.
Yeah.
Her dad had stayed the night in her apartment and cleaned the floors, freshly waxed the linoleum. And so she decided she was going to try to snowboard in the kitchen. And so
Yes.
she took one step on the brand new rug flipped out like a cartoon, came down on the elbow, broke the humerus in half, had to
Wow.
get surgery, full rod, elbow to shoulder. Came home from the hospital on all kinds of feel goods and had the nuts to finally ask me the question of what happened that night. So we sat down and started trying to relive the moment and figure it out. And she goes to the bedroom and comes back with a picture of my son at about 8 months, 9, 10 months, maybe real young. And I was like, I have a picture of me that looks exactly like this. And I left her house. I had stayed there all night with my son while she was at the hospital and got brought back. Went to my house, brought the picture back, and it's like identical twins. So went and did the paternity test. Turns out 99.9% I cannot be excluded as possibly being the father.
Yeah, no running, bro.
So that was number one. Number two was actually part of the relationship I was in during the time when it happened, and I didn't know until I knew.
Yeah.
So I have another daughter that is 1 year younger than my son that lives with her mom over in Oregon.
Okay.
And then I have another daughter that I have with my wife. And so we've been together almost 20 years now. But we had another daughter 6 years later that is my youngest.
Okay.
Yeah.
How old is she?
She's 15.
15. Oh, dude.
Yeah.
You're in the mud, bro. You're in the
You
mud.
know where it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly where it is. All right. Well, so you found out now you're a dad. You're just like, well, like I didn't know I was a dad. You had this kid for 8 months, and here we go. So now, how did that make you feel, man? Like mentally, like knowing now you're a dad, and now like who are some of the people you look to for like not even advice, but kind of someone you admired to help you not, hey, I got to be in this dadhood now. Like, what do I do?
So we're going to have to like skirt back a little bit because my parents got divorced when I was like 6.
Okay.
So my dad lived in Boise. We lived down in a small town called Elko, Nevada.
Okay.
It's about 4 hours away, but I didn't have the daily dad, right? It wasn't a part of my world. It was single mom, me and my brother. So at a very young age, I was pushed to a place where I had to figure out life myself. I had to learn it. There was no other option, right? Mom was at work. My brother's younger than me. He's got no experience to lean on, right? And so without that daily person to go to, it put me in a place where I got real good at figuring it out. So, I already had, sort of grown up in a point of like, you play off the fly and you learn how to become situationally adjustable, right? You learn how to figure it out in the moment. So the other part of it was because I had already known my wife and we had already sort of had this like unestablished relationship over many years, I guess. It just sort of fell in place.
Yeah.
So literally from that day, we've been together ever since.
That's cool.
Like, and so yeah, she's here with me. She was here rushing to get me here. Like,
I want to know
the
how-
most amazing, supportive person possible in my world. And it just happened to be how the world worked out, right? And so couldn't have planned and written this ahead of time. I promise you. Right?
especially her breaking her. What did you say? Humorous.
Humorous.
Yes. Yeah.
I was like as typical dad jokes, right? How humorous,
Yeah.
right? And then the story comes out right after, like, oh my goodness.
Yeah. Oh, that's so not funny, but so funny.
but not funny. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I like how you
You
emphasize.
can laugh at it 20 years later now and be like, oh, okay,
Now
that was
you're married 20 years. You're like, oh, remember when you broke your arm? And then that's when I found out I was a dad.
right.
Man,
Oh, that's so cool, man.
that's great.
So somebody you look out, or somebody that you kind of helped you with being a dad is your wifey, right? So she's always kind of had your back, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's cool, man. 20 years of relationship, dude. I'll tell you that. We're going 15 years on March 5th.
Okay.
So, Almost
What's
there.
I surpassed that.
Oh, it's because you see, because you've been in the
But
dad game for a long time.
what's crazy is if you look at the timeline for that, how many days, hours, minutes, seconds, and you're like, wow, that
Compile it.
it's like some ridiculous 1,000 hours or something. Well, and it's funny because I even joke with my wife. I'm like, because I think we met when we were like 18, and I look at her and I'm like, you've known me more. We've known each other together longer than we were separate,
Yeah.
which is weird.
We're almost at that place. We're pushing that.
You're right there. Yeah, you're right there.
Since 12 years old, man. That's crazy.
That is.
And it's like you said, somehow that's just the way things are just put in line for you, you know? Like, this is the person that you needed to be with, and it got figured out the where you needed to steer to.
Yeah.
So you brought up your dad, and not, your dad, not an everyday dad. Tell us a little bit, bro, about your relationship with your father. How's that been?
It was honestly really good. Like, we would go to Boise for the summers and stay with my dad. So we were there. As we were young, we would be there like all summer, like 3 months long. And my mom and my dad had a great relationship. So it made it very comfortable for us to be there with, the stepmom. And I have a half sister from that relationship. So, it was sort of a good cohesiveness. But yeah, we got to, be around him, and he ran his own roofing company and, was kind of gone during the day and there at night and on the weekend kind of thing, through the summer. And that was, holidays were always there. So he was sort of like consistently there, just not on the daily kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we always had a great relationship with him. And then, I ended up actually moving back to Boise about almost 15 years ago, and helping my younger brother try to take over the roofing company and run that with him. So I left the personal training game, moved down here, tried to do that. First of all, my brother is a year and a half younger than me, not quite as intelligent. Don't tell him that, right?
That's messed up. I'm gonna send him this recording.
But trying to work for him in an industry that I didn't know about and that I didn't enjoy, it wasn't a good fit for me. So I went on to do some more of the marketing and business development kind of stuff that I really love to do. And as part of that time, my dad ended up getting brain cancer, had a giant tumor in his brain that they removed. And he lived for 20 months after they took the tumor out. We got almost another 2 years out of the guy. And tumor came back, and within 2 months, he was gone. But fantastic relationship with the guy. He was such a good-hearted person. So
that's good.
Yeah.
No, I love that. What is something you learned from your relationship with your dad that maybe taught you to be a better dad? I saw this thing today, and it's totally true. Steve Harvey was talking about it. He was saying that nobody ever wanted you to be better than somebody than your dad, right? You're like my son. I want my sons to be better than me, right?
Yeah.
And nobody else is like I don't want this guy to be better than me. You know what I mean? Because
I am.
Yeah. But so like, tell us a little bit of something that maybe helped you become a better dad. Just learning from what you had from your dad.
Part of it was the fact that he wasn't there. And so every time I did get to spend that time with him, like, you appreciate those moments kind of more than the daily grind, and you kind of get tired of the person. And so he always had a way more laid back lifestyle. He lived to fish. That was it. Like, he was trying to make enough money to get out of town to go fishing. Like, that was it. So
Was he good at it though?
oh man, he could outfish everyone. It was ridiculous. And he was like functional alcoholic, so he was life of the party all the time. He died as White Russian Rick, and just like lived his life every single day the way he wanted to live it, And that was one of the pieces of like his version of life that I took was to focus on today. You're not guaranteed tomorrow. And when he got diagnosed, I took him over to the therapist that they assigned to you, and they're like, "Hey, how are you dealing with this? What's going on with you?" And he's like, "It's kind of awesome." He's like, I know my time is up, so I can get all this stuff lined up to go out the way I wanted to that I haven't done yet. I wasn't ready, but they're telling me, man, you got this expiration date now, get it handled. So that was kind of cool to see that, like, he saw the bright side in that. But the other part was, this was like game changer for me, where he basically was like, I don't have a bucket list.
Wow.
I never had the goal to be the longest living person.
Yeah.
I lived a great life while I was here. And that's
Yeah.
tough, like getting to my age.
It's all right, man. Take your time.
It always hits me, dude. Getting to the place where I'm at, in my 40s, and my dad died in his early 60s, perspective is like, life is not guaranteed, man. So much of what becomes important for how you design life and live it for this future intention all the time. We're always looking to what's the progress like. I remember being a kid feeling like you're always chasing the future of what it's going to be like when you get to be an adult. And then, like, you get to the adult point and you're like, I'm still not there yet.
Right.
Like, at what point do I get there? And you lose sight of today in the chase of tomorrow all the time. And it's so hard to see that when you're young, because you feel like there's so much tomorrow left to play with.
It's and yeah, because your mind wanders. And I remember the same thing when I was younger. I you know what I used to think? I used to think that my voice and the voice in my head was gonna get like all adult.
Oh, he's gonna grow
When
up.
he was gonna grow up with, and I'm like, now, yeah, I'm in my mid 40s. And I'm looking at myself, I was like, you still sound like the
Why do I
kid you
sound-
did when you were, 10, 11 years old.
Why do I sound like I haven't gone through puberty yet?
It's like, grow up. What are you doing? That was a dumb move. What
Yeah.
are you?
Yeah. Hey,
So yeah, I say it all the time. I agree.
Yeah, I never grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. So
Yes, exactly.
I mean, what are you gonna do? But it makes sense, man. Us dads. I mean, we just posted a short today where it's like, if you fell, would you survive in your 40s? Like,
yeah.
if you fell down, would you be okay and nobody was there to be able to get up? And taking care of yourself and letting your kids see that is very important. Not just for you, but like for those kids, because like we say, we want them to be better off than us when they're older, when they're at that age where they do whatever they're gonna do. So yeah, man. I mean,
Self-preservation too, though. You gotta teach a little bit of that.
Yeah. seriously.
No, definitely. Yeah, long term while maintaining the short term is the balance that you got to have for a good life. You got to live today but prepare for tomorrow at the same time, and that's the struggle. That most people never really get to. And one of my secret sauces for that balance is self-care first. Obligations will get fulfilled. And so if you figure out what you're about as a person, what lights you up, what are your passions, what are the things, the inspirations is the term that I use for the things that you enjoy the act of doing regardless of the outcome. It doesn't matter if someone knows about it or you make more money or you get a title advancement or any kind of trophy or whatever. Like, did you have a good time doing the thing? If that's enough, that's a passion. And you'll repeat those experiences and improve upon them, because no one wants to do the same. We always feel like, oh, I can do better. I was decent at this, but I can do it better next time. I believe in myself. And when you have that repeated experience and you develop that skill set of knowledge from experience, those are the things that really allow you to schedule moments of experience in the today that allow you to live today. But if you never find those things, most people are just searching for the tomorrow to find the thing. Like, it doesn't really take that long. As adults, we've usually experienced those things and we've glanced past them because the obligations, the things that we do for the outcome, feel like that's the only matter. That's the only importance of life is, what do I got to get done? And there's so many got to get dones that we lose the self in the mix, right?
Yeah, I try to tell my oldest that too. I said you need to find your passion. Yeah, I try to lay it out. As a dad, I try to be like, look, you're 13 years old. Life is easy if you follow the rules.
Yeah.
Like, it's super easy. You just figure out what that person's asking and you deliver on it.
Yeah.
You don't do it half-ass. You do it right. And in the meantime, kind of like you're saying, in the meantime, that's where you find your passion. Like, do you like to do that? No, move it aside, right? Just get it done.
Yes.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing with people working. You're right. I feel like everybody's like, well, got to pay that bill, so I got to keep going to work. I got to do that, and then you just get stuck in this spiral.
Hamster wheel.
And it's just like over and over again. It's the same thing. My wife and I tell us I got to ask Siri or something to make a list, because it's like, hire somebody to come in and clean our house. Because like we did it last night when it was raining. So everybody, all hands on deck, everybody cleaned the house. And it's like, okay, now we're ready to go in the weekend and not have to stress about the house looking like crazy. But it's like, it takes so much preparation to do that. And to like, now we can be like, oh, now what do you want to do?
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm trying to tell my son and trying to instill it in him. Like, look, if you do the minute stuff now, then you have free time to do your video games or whatever it is that you want to do. But because he looks at it and, it's like, it's all a chore.
Yeah.
All he wants to do is play video games, watch TV, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but remember though, like let's play a little advocate here. Like, I'm that age, I don't want to do jack.
Well, that's what I'm fighting.
Yeah,
right?
I know, but it's just like, all right, well, I'm gonna go throw the trash out. Well, the trash is nasty. I don't want to go to the trash.
And his thing is it's not my trash.
It is though.
But you're like, but it is. Yeah.
You ate that double cheeseburger, didn't you?
But a lot of times he doesn't see that, and that's your to your point. Your day to day, he doesn't see the day to day. A lot of our kids don't see that day to day. And it's like, eventually when they get older, that hopefully that voice in their head is going to be like, oh, this is what my dad meant. Like, oh, this is that here and now that I got to take care of.
Sean, have you had those moments with your oldest where he goes, oh, Dad, I remember you saying that, and it totally resonated with me.
Yeah, my oldest son is like uber intelligent. He's in the computer programming courses right now, and trying to explain stuff to me is crazy. But he,
so I don't talk to him for very long.
No. So like him and I have such an intelligent relationship. Like, he's been on my level for so long. He did half of his associate's degree in high school, and like he's always been very advanced. So what he is also 6 years older than my youngest daughter that also lives with me, and so I got 6 years with him where it was just me and him. And he is older now where, when he was like 10 years old, my daughter was only 4. So I couldn't really talk to her the same way I could talk to him. So his version of life, of my knowledge, has been a very long period. And so when I talk to him, he's very mathematical, very methodical, very ROI based. He's the easy one, right? So when
There's
it comes to
on him,
yeah, when there's emotional involvement in the decision making, I don't feel like it. Well, that doesn't change the fact that it still has to be done. And the amount of effort right now versus the amount of effort later
See?
I go through this all the time.
There's no like ramp up of momentum that happens to get it faster later. It doesn't work like that. So here's the other part is it also compounds by waiting till later because now there's this and that and this and that and the amount of feeling of resistance. I call it negative effort.
Yeah.
Yes.
They
exactly.
put more effort into not doing the thing than what will take to do the thing plus the amount of effort that it took not to do the thing. So all of this expenditure is just more work than just do it, fine, we're done. Do it, fine, we're done is still going to happen. We're just adding to the pressure. Okay,
Why is it trash?
This was my conversation last night.
Why is the trash? Why is the trash can so heavy? Well, because I told you last week to take it out.
So here's the other part of it is we operate from a place of experience because we've done the thing. They're trying to operate from a place of learned knowledge where they're hearing us talk about it, but they have not held the responsibility. So here's how the human brain works. If I don't is the most powerful add-on to any choice-making decision factor. If I don't, what happens? If it's nothing, there's no motivation to make it happen. If I don't is an accountability factor. Adults can use this where if I got an accountability partner and I say, hey, we're both going to the gym 5 times this week. If I don't, I owe you $100.
Right.
Dan, sure, I'm showing up at the gym this week.
You gonna go?
Yeah.
Right? But if I don't and I just stay fat, I'm already there. It's not that different. You see what I'm saying? So the motivation isn't there. When there's a drastic consequence, and then the other side also has to be there, a drastic reward.
Yeah.
Right? You have to have celebrations and consequences on both sides for adults and children to be motivated to make the right choice, to do what they already know how to do. It's not a need for education, it's a motivation for action.
Yeah.
It's not that I need to explain to you how to take out the trash. You know, take it out, tie that shit up, take it and put it in the thing, put another bag in, game over, right?
Not for the pop-ups.
But that 3 minutes that it's going to take to do that seems and it feels a certain way that I don't want to deal with right now. And one of the things that I have tried to conquer so much in my life is running over that feeling.
Yeah.
It does not matter. Do it even when you don't feel like it, and you will accomplish whatever you want. Everyone wins when they are consistent over time without a decision. That's it.
Not making a decision is making a decision.
Mhm.
You've already made it by not doing something.
Yeah.
You already knows you're so here's how I explain it. It's called integrity. When you make a choice, you are making a declaration of intention to yourself.
Right.
I say I'm going to do this. The integrity is an unwavering commitment to yourself. I said I'm going to do this. I'm doing it because I said I'm going to do it. Not because of the recognition, not because of the thing, because that's a form of operation. The way you do anything is how you do everything is my life motto. You are a repetition of routine. If you half-ass it over here, you're going to half-ass it over here, right? My man was talking about it, right? So it's the same game for all of us. As parents, as people, we're all playing the same game. As adults, we're just kids with experience.
That's so true.
Ladies and gentlemen, dad formula.
Yes, right.
And this is why I started following the cat when I first jumped onto TikTok, man. It's just like, boom, educating, like just makes sense, bro. You know what I mean?
It does.
Let's flip it a little bit and let's go into the misses. Okay, you kind of dabbled in a little bit about how you guys met and how, but like let's talk a little bit more about, how great the relationship is, how she helps you be the best dad you can be, and wrap her up in a little bowl.
I mean, she's wrapped up in a blanket right now, so I don't know if she can hear me right now. But no, So she's been in early childhood education for 30 plus years. She is a nurturer at heart. And so she's also very intelligent, which helps tremendously in a compatibility state. Like attracts like, and not to say like if you're stupid, you have to be with somebody who's stupid, but um, like it's a thing.
What do you say? Stupid does, stupid does.
Yeah, exactly. But like you have to have mutual interest, right? And a lot of that comes from common characteristics. And so much of the stuff that her and I share has been developed over our lives. Like you said, we've known each other way longer in our lives than we haven't, first of all. But even our relationship together has almost existed more than it didn't before, right? And so her and I have grown up together, so we've learned each other, which is a whole nother thing. As we were coming over here, and I could give you so many millions of stories after 20 years, right? But like we're driving and she turns the radio off and pulls her phone up and she says, I need you to listen to this. And I was like, all right, what is it? And she's like, it starts playing and it's some, accented person like David Attenborough, just amazing voice, right? And they're talking about some philosophy where when you love someone, you fall in love with them twice, right? You love the visible person first, the one that they show to the world and that everyone knows, and the version that they work hard to display. But when you're with someone long enough, that part dissolves.
Yeah.
And the struggles and the baggage and the stress and anxieties and fears and all of the other pieces come out. And when you learn to look past those, because you know the whole person, you fall in love with them in a completely different way. And like, it was prophetic for me because I completely understand how that works. The way I feel about her now is way different than that night when my son came about. Different version of the person, right?
Yeah.
And so that's a big part of it, is when you know someone, it's different than when you feel someone,
Yeah.
right? When you start a relationship, you feel them.
Yeah.
Does it feel good, right? I'm chasing the feeling.
Yeah, all the dopamine hits, man, everything.
Yeah. The feeling dissolves after a while because it becomes repetitious consistency. But for her, it's increased over time, and it was defined for me literally today as this. It's a different form of love, and it does grow because it's based on experience and repetition. And for her, she does the same things that attracted me to her in the beginning. She still does them. Okay. And so in a relationship, what is required for it to work long term? I'll give you guys the ultimate holy grail. Okay. Two pieces for me. Number one, find someone you can tolerate at their worst.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Okay. If you can get to that bottom and it's like, it was rough, but I've had worse. All right. Right.
Yeah, I'll leave.
So that's general, but in order for a relationship to work on a long-term scale, this person has to know what makes them happy. And this person has to know what makes them happy. And they find that for themselves each. And they share their happy. This person does not make this person happy.
Right.
We share our individual happiness together.
Yes. Amen to that. I love that.
That's genius.
So if you can come to that place where you can both live coexistingly and share happinesses of world, no matter how much time I spend with her, she has her own individual world. We both work from home full time. We are with each other about as much as you possibly can be. Okay? And anytime we've ever had an argument, here's how you can tell if a relationship will last.
Here we go. Let's see. Let's see.
At any point we have ever had a disagreement, it's never a vindication of the person that we are seeking in the argument. It is always an understanding of the viewpoint of the scenario. I feel this way about how this should go down. If she feels differently, then we have to have an understanding of the minds about the situation. It's
giving
never like,
man, you can't be so gun ho as a dad. Some dads are so machismo where it's like, no, it's my way, it's my way. Like, yeah, you think that way because testosterone wants to get you thinking that way, but then you got to go, hey, I gotta give back a little bit, you know, because there's that middle ground, man. Negotiations, right? The negotiations, you got to give a little back and forth.
yeah, totally, totally. No, and it's for her though, she's very, very supportive in me prioritizing my happiness, which is a very important factor. And when I say to the point of prioritizing, for me, prioritizing coincides with scheduling. You prioritize the things you put on the calendar.
Right.
I'm going to do this at this defined date. And then you create the vision that makes the actions happen. So you make that thing go. She makes me go to my cornhole tournaments. And it's not like I'm kicking and screaming against it in any way. But there's always things that need to be done. And she's like, no, on Thursday, what day this week? Pull up the app, find what tournaments are there. We're picking one for you to schedule, get it on the map. The rest of the week we'll rearrange and have those dates be the other things. And that sort of thing, guys, is the daily support of an individual being able to find their own happiness. She is not out there throwing the bags for me. She is not there doing any part of it. It is the support of me seeking that. And that most of the time is what holds people back from finding their own happiness, is they don't have the support from around them that allows them to go do that as a priority on purpose. Yes.
This is getting good stuff. My wife always just blames. She says, you know, because we've been together so long, she goes, you taught me to be this way. You trained me.
Way to go, Tommy.
Not in a bad way, but then it was like a touche moment. I was like, wait, we've been together. Oh shoot, I kind of did.
I thought you were saying it was a bad thing. I was like, way to go, Tommy. Good job. Way to ruin your lady.
But it is, and it's the same for me. I would support her to do whatever she wants to do.
Yeah, totally.
The whole thing is she just wants me to be there with everything that she does, right?
It wasn't until I started diving into my ADD that I realized that I even told my wife, she's like, so I get every other Friday off, and the other Fridays I work from home, and I was like, I can't get anything done. I can't clean the house, and I was reading one of the books, and there's something about it's called Body Double, right? And I was like, you know what's so weird? I told my wife, I was like, you know what's so weird is I only get things done when you're here. And I was like, I don't need you to do anything. You can just sit on the couch, wrap yourself up in a blanket, put your feet up, and then I'll get stuff done. It's innate in me that I need someone that I can't be in my house by myself because I'll have all these squirrel moments and nothing will get done. It's the crazy thing. Yeah.
So she keeps you in line.
It's just having like grounded, right? It's that grounding rod, right? I just need it there. And then it's like I will do stuff around it.
Yeah.
It's just like a
she's
comfort.
like your, I was gonna say she's like your
it.
comfort blanket. You're like,
Yeah.
I could be myself. I want to do the dishes. I don't want to vacuum.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, and a lot of people are, you know, they look at us at our relationship and they're like, man, you guys are together all the time, and it's the same thing. And I was like, honestly, but it's not a bad thing.
It's not.
Like I don't have to be there all the time.
I want to.
You know, it's more of a, I want to. It's kind of like you were saying is that we're there to complement each other, not there to, you know, it's not constant conflict. Now, granted, 4 kids running around the house, there is a lot of noise, but it's like, you know, things keep, you know, coming and going.
You still got to squeeze the butt.
There's always, right?
Several times a day. Yeah.
She's got a headache.
No,
She's tired.
You still gotta squeeze the butt, bro. And you know, you were saying, like, you know, like I love being around my wife. We're around each other a lot, and it's because she looks hot. Dude, hey, so big question, bro. Any more kids?
Oh, definitely not. No, no. No, she got,
Boom, stamped. No.
well, it's mechanically impossible. She got her tubes tied on the C-section of my daughter, so it was decided at that. Hey, what's up, Dad? Certified dad.
He's in the house. Yeah, we'll have him on in a couple of weeks too.
That's a good
All right,
deal.
bro. Let's get on to what you're doing right now for work. What is in plans for Dad Formula on TikTok? Where do you see yourself going with all this, man?
So, I've been doing sales and marketing for the last seriously like 20 years, and so social media has been such a cool journey to watch and grow as a marketing mechanic. And the one thing that I love about TikTok is they really put the stamp on interest media over social media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they changed the way that people connect. And so it's become so much easier to put the right audience in front of the right message. And so that's been sort of a fun project that I've been working on with this Dad Formula account for about the last 9 months, I guess. But I've been on many, many accounts in every social media over the years. And so I'm in a good place of success in my life where I'm not really chasing dollars anymore. Dollars are part of the mechanic that is included on the other side, but more as an example model versus an achievement status. So I'm showing people by example how this works. So when I'm developing these businesses and teaching people through live instruction on top of the back end nature and the community build and all that kind of stuff, it breaks down in real time what they would do to repeat those results, because most of the time success in business is just modeling previous success. You're not reinventing the wheel. You ain't that. It's not necessary, and you're probably not going to do it a way someone hasn't already thought to do it at some point. So just showing mechanics and that kind of stuff is one piece. So teaching people partly how to find themselves and present that as a niche creator, and being able to work within the live stream structures and the video mechanics and all that kind of stuff is the basis of where we're at now. But over the next year, the bigger focus, interest based over social media for sure. The bigger focus is going to be TikTok Shop, because it emphasizes the earning mechanic, and in a lot of ways more palatable for most people. It's more believable. It's more of a comfort zone for people to exchange dollars for physical product versus internalized value as a digital product. Some people are like, wait, what? What? You're charging for this? What, are you got to be kidding me, right? They just haven't been in that world before. I've worked with companies that had, coaching programs that monthly were $25,000 a month, astronomical programs, and companies happy to pay these. Certified Dad knows about it. He came from the same world, right? And so moving forward, the TikTok Shop is going to be a big piece, but a lot of this is the evolution of self-discovery. So it's hard to say where I'm going to be in 2 years or 5 years, because the things that light us up today are not the same in 5 years. You're a different person at that point because of the experiences, the degradation of the body, the degradation of the mind, and all the energy production and intention and situationals. Like, it changes the way that you decide. So I will say I'm not very good at planning that far out.
We'll wait for the onion pill, huh?
Yeah.
See what comes next.
Yeah, but the thing is like, if you try to look 5 years out, that vision's blurry as hell. You're not really going to be able to pinpoint much. But I say, what are you having for dinner tomorrow night? Boom, crystal clear. You can immediately picture that chicken on your plate.
No, this guy doesn't know what he's having for dinner tonight.
My wife and I constantly, what do you want for dinner tonight? I don't know.
Yeah, but if you said, "Hey, I got this favorite pizza that I've been looking forward to,"
Yeah.
right? You can picture that pizza on your plate tomorrow night, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah. Whereas if I say, "What are you eating in 5 years?" You're like, "Well, I don't know." Right?
Probably food.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
Maybe.
hopefully on a spoon or a fork, not in a tube.
Exactly. It's a blurry vision. It's a blurry
So
vision.
yeah, sort of like that. I like that one too, where you're like, hey, guess where I'm taking you today, and you have no clue where you're
Yeah.
taking them, and they're like, oh, we're gonna go get sushi. Oh my god, how did you know?
Yeah, exactly. I love that one. That's fantastic.
All right, Sean. So how about this, bro? Let's wrap up here with a bow and give some advice, man, to other dads who are probably, got the same situation as you in your same bubble, bro. Think just like you. What do you think? Some advice you can hand over to those dads.
I have a video about this. I think it's on this page. I have several pages. Sometimes I forget where I post stuff, but for parents, I talk to parents all the time, and we've run a home daycare for the last 10 years at home, and so we've actually raised several generations of other families' children for them. They're with us more than they are their own families. So we've not only raised our kids, but dozens of others, and the amount of time that you get with your children is pretty much fulfilled by the time they're 18. It's about 90% of the time that you spend with your kids is over at 18. And so if you break that down into, years, we're saying 18 years. So if you do something once a year with your kids, maybe 18 times. If you do it every single year from the time they're one, probably not. Okay, the times that you do stuff with your children, and it's not about how much time, it's about the number of times. I don't care if you got 20 years, you only do it 3 times in that time. That's what matters. Each one of those times is important, not the time, right? So looking at the time that you get with your kids and putting that importance above the emotion in the moment, because kids don't have the experience that we have as adults. They don't know because they haven't done it yet. And so we can't put an expectation on them to know what they haven't experienced, regardless of how many times we tell them about it. So we've got to let them fail to success with the knowing that it's going to be harder for us to let them fail. But it's either fight them to try and see a shortcut to success and put that same pressure plus the failure that's going to happen, because when they go to do it, they're going to suck. They're going to fail, right? So we need to encourage failure more than success, because as you fail, this is where you learn what you don't like. And when you learn what you do like, this is where you find your self-interest. And guys, I'm going to go on for just a sec here. When you search for self-interest as a child, you learn what you are good at. You are never interested in stuff you suck at, right? You're not trying to repeat failure. You're trying to avoid it. So the only way to find the good things is to go through the bad ones. But once you find the self-interest, you find other children who have similar self-interest. And that becomes an actual connection point. The kids at school are forced interaction. They're not chosen. You don't decide who's in your class, who sits next to you. You have a level of toleration for the kids at school. But true friendship comes from mutual interest. Find it for yourself first. The other ones that find it will be there with you. And when you teach your children how to know their self-interest, it develops self-confidence. Confidence is knowing your own value. When you know what you can do, nobody else can tell you that you can't do it. You're like, dude, I will prove to you this over and over without question. Watch me, right?
Watch me.
But the other side is arrogance. Arrogance is where your value is told to you by the outside sources, the voice of the children, the car you drove up in, the house you live in, the clothes you're wearing, who your friend group is. Arrogance. Because if any of that changes, your value changes. So if you seek your value from the outside and you don't know it yourself, you will always be in a chase for that repetition of the outside voice. And it is a forever chase that never works out the way you want. You don't control it. So when you get good at finding yourself and finding people who are finding themselves in that moment, you develop true friendships. You develop a security blanket of self-knowledge and confidence that you carry, and you become a better version of yourself that you share with the rest of the world. And this is how I teach my children to become better thinkers, better decision makers. Okay, I have a whole training called the 6 Factors of Conscious Response. I'm not going to go into it right now. But when you understand the mechanics of how decisions are made and how those decisions influence the actions you take, and those actions become the experiences you have that are your life, you control it from the point of conscious intention. So when you get good at doing that as a structure over and over with prioritization of self-improvement, right, you become a different version of yourself in the world. So when you get to adulthood, you have the tools to be successful when I'm not there.
Oh gosh, isn't that such the everyday struggle of every parent's, man? Like, when you leave, I just need you to be okay, and I love it, bro.
Well, I think it goes both ways too, because I like to remind parents too. You said it early on. I think you're looking forward to potential empty nesting too. I think you said it perfectly when you said once they hit 18, that your kid at 18 is not the same kid that you had a relationship with in those younger years. Mm-hmm. That 18-year-old doesn't know what they were in your relationship. Mm-hmm. They're a different person because they're constantly molding and changing.
Mm-hmm. Right.
We've already molded. Our mold has already solidified, and we have this relationship with this young kid. Mm-hmm. And now when they get older, as parents, we have to mourn that little kid that's no longer there. It's not there. That kid is not there anymore. It's different. They're an older kid. So that's one of those. I was, as you were talking, I was thinking that over and over again. It's so imperative that, as parents, we understand instilling this psychology. But then it's like part of us is like, man, but I really like that little kid that would hug me tight. You know what I mean? And it's like now they're moving on, and you're like, I just want that little kid back to just give me a hug one more time.
It's almost you're like growing up with them, because then you got hormones get kicked. Yeah, hormones get kicked in, and then they become a totally different person, and all they're doing is just trying to figure out what's going on with themselves too. And it's hard as parents to adjust with that. You're just like, oh, it's just like that culture shock. You're like, oh, what do I do?
It is. And so here's one tip that I do on the parenting side of things that help the mental mechanic of the adult side of it. Okay. A parent is someone that does it for the child. A guide is someone who helps the child decide how to do it themselves.
Amen.
So we as parents are ultra tight on the hold of parenthood, of doing it for them.
Yes.
And when we have to let go to allow them to fail because they suck at making decisions, they do. They're not good at stuff.
Yeah.
And you can't expect them not to be good at stuff. They haven't
not
done
perfect.
Right.
They're never going to be.
So we are holding them back by holding on to that title of parenthood, where we have to work with that sliding scale that moves from parenthood to guide, and being better at accepting the role of guide versus the control factor of parenthood doing it for you. I am not going to do this for you, but if you don't, there will be consequences. If you do, there will be rewards. And so you are just the mediator of mechanics. You are not the implementer.
No, that's true. I'm sure you gotta think about it like that. You know, it's just like Brian's saying right here that we all sucked at making decisions earlier in life too, bro. Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure it out. I don't have a book that tells me what to do today. Like, yeah, we're
doing
guessing.
a podcast. We're learning today. It's not just, yeah, no, dude, I love it, man. If you guys are not following Dad Formula, man, please head on over, follow him. Large engagement community. He's got a dad map too as well, where you can see where dads are at in your neighborhood, in your city, in your state. It's very detailed. Go and check it out. He every morning he is always on live. So go and check him out as well. Give him a follow, like all that stuff, brother. Anything?
Good stuff. I love it. I love this episode. It's great.
Oh, it's a great episode, brother. We really appreciate you, Sean, being in, man, taking time from your vacation there, and tell the missus thank you very much for giving us your time. We appreciate it. We wanted to, just give a shout out to everybody in the room right now. Everybody giving us love. We appreciate that. Big ups to Dragon Arts USA. And, just keep a lookout for the Dad Labs, man. We're booked up all the way through April 20th right now. Yep. Next week, if everyone knows, we have Shenanigans, and that guy lives all the way in Scotland. And we are going to be interviewing him next week as well. And he's got some kiddos, and so it's going to be fun, man. Just keep with us, man. Thanks for the support.
Yes.
Anything, Sean, before you go?
I truly love helping people. I love helping people. One of the titles I'm giving to myself is Perspective Shift Specialist. I say things in a certain way that helps people look at it differently, that helps influence their choices, so that when they move on from being around me, I have something that carries with them. Yeah. And so that's what I really enjoy doing. That's what my high engagement community is about. It's in my profile. If you guys need help learning how to find yourself, how to, monetize this TikTok platform, there's lots of monetization options out there, but this is a ground floor to start that. And I truly enjoy helping people find themselves more than anything. So if you need help with that, let me know.
Yeah, we love TikTok Shop. All right, guys, that's another great episode of the Dads of TikTok here on TikTok Live. This is the Dad Labs podcast, man. Dodger Tommy in the house.
Dodger Tommy.
Thanks, Dad Formula, Dragon Arts USA, man. We will check you guys later on another episode next week, man. All right, Dad Labs, huh? We're out. Let's go. Yeah. Thanks, Sean, man. Have a good one, bro.
Yes.
You guys enjoy it.
Thanks, bro.